What is going on, everybody? I'm here today for my RBL Season 5 Week 2 battle versus Zuvi and the Australian Avaluggs. My team is here in the foreground. His team is the one in the background. Zoroark, Dugtrio, Latios, Seismitoad, Cobalion, and Mew. 6 things that I am not surprised came, but not the 6 things I was necessarily expecting. Seismitoad I expected, Dugtrio I expected, Latios I expected, Mew I expected. Cobalion was a maybe, and I thought Zoroark was a maybe, but I just kind of want to get rocks, or at least lead off with Gliscor just to get my poison heal off, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to lead off with Gliscor and click Protect. He's going to lead off with the Seismitoad. Quite possibly the Seismitoad. And he's going to Hidden Power, so it's not that weird. I don't want to stay in. I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into Armaldo to take this hit. It does neutral, so I figure it's probably that. And he's with Dark Pulse, the X Scissor, and I found out this is actually the Zoroark. He's down 1%, which is nice. Here, I reveal it at Aqua Jet. A little bit earlier than I wish I could have, or earlier than I could have, or should have, but you know, I didn't think he was going to switch out, but I just sack it off. But I'm going to switch out. Bring in Venusaur, which is going to force him out into Cobalion. And I'm just going to go Giga Drain. And then I'm going to switch out again, because I don't want to stay in and go into Gliscor, because Gliscor handles this thing very well. If his Zen Headbutt is 15%, it's not too bad. I get some Poison Heal, HP back. He's not going to want to stay in. He's going to bring in Seismitoad, which is actually the Zoroark. I'm going to go for the Stealth Rock, get the rocks up. And then I'm going to Protect, in case he wants to, I don't know, do something silly. So he's going to go for the Dark Pulse. He doesn't have a nice move or anything like that. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm bringing in Venusaur. I don't want to take any unnecessary damage on Gliscor. In reality, I should have tried not to take unnecessary damage on Venusaur, because Gliscor has recovery constantly, whereas Venusaur doesn't, and now Venusaur is at 23%, which isn't great. Bringing Mew, I could stay in if I wanted to, but why would I? Because he's going to click a Psychic move. If we click a Psychic move, he's going to do a bunch of damage. He's going to go for Psy Shock. 17% to Gliscor. Gliscor is physically defensive, but I could have easily handled that Zoroark. I could have just clicked Earthquake, and then next turn clicked Protect, and gotten 2 turns of HP back. We'll knock off Seismitoad's Assault Vest, which is nice. We're up to an early lead at this point. I'm going to Ninetales, set up the Sun, because I know he's going to go for the Ice Punch or Hidden Power Ice or something like that. He goes for Ice Punch. And I'm going to click Solar Beam. He's going to bring in Latios. Latios is going to take some rock damage. Solar Beam is going to go. It's going to hit Latios and do 13%. His Latios is going to be Eject Button, and he is going to bring in Dugtrio. This is a very good play. I really liked it on his part, and that was a big moment for him, because at this point, there's very little I can do to deal with that Seismitoad. Not a lot can hit that Seismitoad. The only thing that I've left that can hit Seismitoad with perfected damage is the Venusaur, but it's at such a low amount of HP that I can't switch it in, and Seismitoad outspeeds it. So I'm going to bring in Venusaur here, because the only thing I can do at that point, or something goes down, basically, because Gliscor can't kill this thing. I'm going to bring in Weavile. I'm going to go for the Icicle Crash, because that is the only thing I can do at this point, and it does almost enough to kill. And he goes for the Drain Punch. Flinch was the thing I needed there. I needed to get a flinch there. I didn't get it. And now I am down 4-3. But he's going to bring in Cobalion. I am going to click Extreme Speed. It's not going to do anything. And I'm going to switch out. I should have clicked Sacred Fire, but I didn't. Bring in Gliscor. He's going for the Stone Edge. Going to do pretty much nothing. I click Earthquake here, but he might go into Latios. So I click Knockoff, expecting to go into Latios, which was a mistake. I should have just gone Earthquake outright, but this thing doesn't really scare me, because I can just stay in no matter what. But I would have gotten this thing earlier. He's going to Zen Headbutt. To go for flinches, he's going to get a flinch, and I'm just sitting here hoping he doesn't get more than one flinch. He's going to go for Zen Headbutt again, and this time he is not going to flinch, so we're going to get rid of Cobalion. So now we're back tied 3-3. The problem is Seismitoad is still alive, and Seismitoad is something I can't really deal with. So he's going to bring in Mew, which is a problem, so I'm going to Protect to see what it's going to do. It's going to Calm Mind, and I realize, I could lose right here to a Calm Mind Mew, much like what happened last season when I played a Mew. But he's going to Soft Boiled. I'm going to click Knock Off. He's going to have the Colbur Berry, so it's going to do like 0 damage pretty much. And I'm just going to stay in and keep clicking Earthquake. to to try to whittle him down. But as you saw, he has the soft boiled, so he can heal himself back up at all times, which is of course not a fun thing for me. So this is going to be a bit of a stall war between the two of us, of him soft boiling and calm minding and me earthquaking and knocking off. And the reason I start clicking knock off eventually is I know it does less, but soft boiled only has so much PP, and I can try to outlast him and have protect at my disposal, which gets me HP back. That gives him the opportunity to possibly calm mind. But if he's out of soft boiled, he's not healing up, so that's not a problem. So I'm just going to keep doing this. I don't know when I click knock off, but this is just a long little war that I just decide I got to make a switch at the right time, which I do. Predicting a soft boiled, switch into Entei, click Sacred Fire. Does not do enough to KO. He's going to click Psyshock. It is not going to KO once again. He's going to switch out because Sacred Fire would kill him again. He's going to go into Latios. I have Bite, but Sacred Fire did more to Mew. Bite did more to Latios, was the big issue. I think in the long run, clicking Bite would have actually been better. And then that happens there, which was not good. I just didn't play some of the end of this match very well. But I think I should have gone with Bite on Entei because it gave me the flinch chance on Mew, and it made Latios less of an issue, and it actually, I think, would have made less of an issue with Seismitoad. Here, I go for the Protect, predicting him to possibly go for the Ice Beam. He doesn't. He goes for the Recover, which is bad for me. He's going to switch out. He's going to bring in Mew. And I am going to click Knock Off, which is not going to do enough to KO. And he's going to Soft Boil and his HP back up. And we're back on this whole stall war again, potentially. And he's going to Soft Boil again, get up to 90%. And at this point, I know he's going to be able to set up Calm Minds all over me once again. At this point, there's not really a lot I can do to win at this point. I need a crit Earthquake. That's the thing that would help me get him to a low enough point where a crit Earthquake would KO. But he just keeps soft boiling to prevent that from possibly happening. I believe at this point he's got like 2 or 3 soft boils left. And I just keep clicking knock off and keep clicking knock off. Just knock off an Earthquake, just some combination of the two moves, just to try to weaken this thing, possibly whittle it down, possibly get it to a point where Entei could KO this, and Latios and Seismitoad with one move, which it's not going to happen at this point. But if I could get things low enough, I could bite and go for the flinches and whatnot. But at this point, I lose the match, unless I get super lucky, which is of course not very fun. I click Protect here to see what he wants to do. He's going to go for the Soft Boiled. I don't know why I protected as a full HP. That was just a bad idea on my end. I should have gone for the damage. Looking at this now, it was a bad play. Go for the knockoff on this Mew, and he's just going to keep setting up on me, and I can't do anything about it. And he's going to Psyshock. I'm going to get 25%. I'm going to knock off. I'm going to go for the Protect for this turn, try to get some HP back. And he is going to Soft Boil, predicting me to Protect. I should have just clicked Earthquake yet again, but it doesn't really matter at this point, because no matter what, he's going to KO me. He would have had to click Soft Boil. That was the only thing I could do. So I'm going to go to Entei now. I outspeed this thing, which you saw earlier, because I have put some speed investment in it. Bite does 38%. Don't get the flinch. He goes to the Aura Sphere. He KOs. And we fall week 2, 3-0 to Zuvi. I don't know, Zuvi, not a big fan of the way you battle. I had a lot of help this week to try to win this match, and I still lost. That goes to show exactly how bad I am. That is a perfect example of how terrible I am. But it was something that actually Zuvi mentioned, I don't remember if it was after the battle or during the battle, that the 6 things I brought were the 6 things he expected. And when you get predicted that well, or that clearly, that causes some issues, because he knew exactly what I was going to bring, basically. And that was how it all went down. I don't know how he knew. I guess it was just pretty obvious. But it's another story. But we lose. I don't really care. It was my bad that we lost that match, or I lost that match. I don't really complain about matches that I lose. Sorry if it's not something that was like hacks or anything like that. If it's just like a close match that I end up losing, which I think 3-0 doesn't really reflect that match fully. I made a couple bad plays which made it a 3-0, but it could have been a much worse score. I managed to keep it somewhat okay, but I made some mistakes early on. The Doug Trio Latios play was fantastic. That lost me the match. As soon as he did that, I lost the match. And I knew it as soon as he did that I lost, because of how badly I played Venusaur. So 2 things really early on in the match that I did poorly, or no, one thing I did poorly, one thing that was just a good play that I ended up losing the match. So, yep. Losing Sun was not a good thing. I needed Sun at the end of the match. If I had the ability to have Sun up at the end of the match, Entei would have been able to do more with Sacred Fire. Would have clicked Sacred Fire at the end instead of Bite. Probably. I don't know how much it would have done compared to Bite against Latios. I could always check that, but I had a feeling Mega Latios might not come this week, and I definitely was ready for the potential of there not being a Mega Latios. And at the end of the day, there was no Mega Latios, which really ended up killing me. So whatever. It's the game we play, but that's the match. That's the video. Next week we play another new coach, Tokelandia, and the Portland Timbers. The next couple weeks are going to be a little bit interesting with Sun and Moon coming out next week. So I believe we are giving, for weeks 3 and 4, we're giving coaches 2 weeks to complete them. So next week and the week after will be week 3, and then the 2 weeks after that will be week 4, or something like that. It's something along those lines, but we're giving people time to be able to play Sun and Moon, because the matches, any match that is on Wi-Fi from November 18th on will still have to be on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire because of some of the changes to Thunder Wave and stuff like that. So things are changed, things are different, slightly in Gen 7, if not majorly different, that we need to make sure we are still playing in ORAS because of stat changes and whatnot. So no Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battles in terms of league battles for many of the coaches until Season 6 comes out, and I don't even know we're going to do Season 6 because everything's going to be so new. But we're giving the meta some time to situate. I'm hoping that by the time the season finishes, so let's say we're get to week 5, that'll be like the first or second week of December. I think it's the second week of December, the first full week of December by the time we get to week 5. So that's 3 weeks. So week 5, 6, and 7 will be in December, and then 8, 9, 10, 11 will be in January. Then you have playoffs, which will take, I think we'll probably give a pretty good chunk of time for playoffs this season in order to allow for the Sun and Moon meta to kind of settle and let everyone kind of figure out what's good, what's bad, and the tierings and whatnot, and then experiment Season 6 and then Season 7. Season 7 will probably be the first super competitive Sun and Moon season. I feel like that's the same thing with the next season of the GBA will probably be more experimental and stuff like that, but I'm going on a tangent now. I'm getting off topic. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't see the team builder, that is first link in the description. That will be something I'll make sure I do every single week. If I forget, comment on it. I'll post it there. I want that to be a thing I do. But with that, I'm going to sign off. Hope you have a fantastic day. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye.